Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with retired Marine officer turned high-performance coach Sandra Gonzalez. She served 20 years of honorable service as a Marine. Now she helps successful, high-caliber female entrepreneurs kick self-doubt and perfectionism to the curb by harnessing sexy confidence so that they can take command of any room they step into and magnetize opportunities for impact and growth. Sandra is a true testament of being resilient and learning to develop mental toughness in life and business. She's got a great story. Enjoy this interview.
Thank you for taking some time out today. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for connecting.
You bet. So before we get into your very busy existence, I want to know the last 3 years with COVID, a lot of things happened, and it happened differently to all of us. So I'm curious how you survived the COVID time and how you changed the way that you live your life now that we're coming out of this pandemic.
What a great question. So how did it affect me? It certainly affected me in the personal and the professional aspect. During the pandemic, to add insult to injury, I was going through a difficult divorce. I had to hire 4 attorneys to help me deal with a complex divorce case that left me emotionally, mentally, financially depleted. In the midst of that, 2021, I found my dad unconscious. And, as life is already beating me up and I'm trying to scale my business, the last thing you want to do is find your dad in the way I found him. I found him unconscious. And, with Mom's help, long story short, I picked him up. I took him to the emergency room, got him in there right in time. What I didn't know was that my dad was dying on us. His oxygenation was at 33%. So we did lose him 2 months later to COVID pneumonia. But the day my father passed, his demise really shook something in me that I decided to shift the way not only I live my life, but the way I do business. I would say a part of me died with him that day. And, I've lived differently ever since then. I've definitely, thankfully, healed. And in the process, created more of this, of what I love, what I'm passionate about, helping high-caliber entrepreneurs with. So that's, I can go to the specifics. I know you have more questions, but it was definitely a lesson for me that I learned to pivot.
Sounds like it. Yeah, it sounds rather momentous. Well, let's get to the essence, the core of what you do daily. And I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of third graders at a career day. And one of the kids looks up at you and says, "What do you do for a living?" How do you answer them?
Oh, how adorable, first of all. So what do I do for a living? So I am a retired Marine officer turned high-performance coach speaker. What does that mean? So I served 20 years of honorable service as a U.S. Marine. And, I learned a lot about leadership, developing other leaders in the military. And now, as a high-performance coach, which means I help them get to this peak state of performance. I help them raise their energy every single day and their performance. Why does this help them? This helps them because it's critical to their thinking skills. And when you know how to change your thinking skills, you're more apt. You're going to take action. Sometimes you're going to be scared or sometimes you're not going to want to do something. I help them take action despite how they're feeling. So I really help them understand how to self-motivate, how to self-discipline. And I could break it down Barney style as well. Because, as a Marine, it's one of the things that I was trying to do, but I think that's the best way I could explain it to a beautiful third grader before me.
So let's take you back to the third grade. What was your dream when you grew up? What did you want to become?
Oh, my God. Like, my heart is racing as you ask me this question. I know that when I was in third grade, I used to watch Superwoman, and I know this kind of takes me back in the day. We used to live, I think second or third grade. No, I was born in Los Angeles, raised in San Diego, but I would watch. I'm pretty sure it was like second or third grade. I loved Superwoman. She was this badass woman that I'm like, what is it about this woman? She's fearless, she's confident. Oh my goodness. So I realized that I wanted, I developed curiosity around this woman, and the curiosity peaked where I began to ask, who's this woman coaching her? That's the woman I want to become. So even though I was, in second or third grade, I knew that I wanted to become the woman that coached Superwoman.
Well, from what I can tell, from what you've done in your life, you have actually dream realized. You are Superwoman.
Thank you so much.
So let me ask you this. The one thing that also propels us in life quite a bit are those that we look up to. Who's been a hero or a role model for you?
My dad. My dad was my hero. He was my role model, and that's why I shared when I lost him. That's the first time in my life I felt scared. I felt not secure. I didn't have stability. I was going through a difficult divorce, but I said the only man I can depend on if I need him is gone. What's going to become of me? But it's in that moment of uncertainty that he, for one, enabled me to, really, he's the one that taught me how to step into uncertainty. So even though I had lost them and I was scared for that brief moment, I realized, you know what, I didn't lose a dad. I'm grateful I had a father. I had this hero, this role model who gave me the skill set, who gave me the tools I needed so I could overcome adversity.
So if you can meet anybody alive on the planet right now, who would it be? Who would you love to talk to?
If I could be anybody on the planet?
Right now, yeah, that's alive. Yeah, anybody that's alive on the planet right now, who would it be?
I would be myself. I
guess I didn't enunciate right. If you could meet anybody on the planet right now, like actually meet another human that's alive, I didn't know if you had heard me right or not. I know sometimes people
Okay. If I could meet another human being that's alive, I would say, I love Brendan Burchard. So he's this, motivational speaker. He's an educator. He inspires the masses. And I would say Brendan Burchard. And he's an incredible human being that I've learned so much from. I have his books. And I point him out because I didn't know it while I was learning from him, but his father was a retired gunnery sergeant. His father served in the Marines. So then when I hear Brendan Burchard speak and teach, I'm like, what is so compelling about his voice that moves me? It wasn't until I read one of his books or listened to one of his podcast that I realized a Marine raised this incredible human being. So to answer your question, it would be him.
So as somebody that's obviously been very highly motivated throughout your life, what is it that really drives and motivates you every day to be who you are and to accomplish what you want to get done?
What drives me every day to accomplish what I want to get done? God. It's one of the things that I teach, high caliber entrepreneurs, is that you need to really listen to what is calling at you, not what is clawing at you. And when you listen to what is clawing at you, it's your ego, and our ego is not our amigo. I've learned the hard way. But when we listen to what is calling at us, it's like you're connected to your desire. You're connected to, for me, I'm connected to God. And I know every day, whether he's giving me subtle hints or he's, connecting with me, it's my duty, my obligation, my moral responsibility to take action because there's somebody in this moment who needs me. So to answer your question, what motivates me is this motive that I'm one of his messengers. He put me on this earth to serve him. And I know when it's all said and done, I'm definitely going to report to him and say, sir, mission completed, mission accomplished. I did my due diligence. I served you in the best capacity that I possibly could. In the process, I, faced my fears, and I served you with integrity. So it's my higher calling to God because I've been able to really connect to what is calling at me. I hope this makes sense.
Oh, it 100% makes sense. And I'm curious, at the end of that proverbial day, how do you look back on it and quantify a good day?
That's such a good question because this is what developing self-awareness every day. It's, did I give it my best shot? Did I serve others? Did I live my life with integrity? More importantly, did I put myself in a peak state, which is one of the things I help women and men with. If you put yourself in this peak state, you improve your performance, and then you can take action. You develop better thinking skills, which helps you generate solutions, not stressors to your problems. So for me, at the end of the day, if I've done some things that help me do just that, and I've learned to fill my love tank, then I've had an extraordinary day. And that's what I look for on a daily basis.
So let's say you have a dream tonight and you run into the younger version of yourself in your 20s and you could give that version of you a piece of advice based on the life you've lived, the wisdom that you've gained, the things that you've overcome. What advice would you give your younger version?
Start now. I said start now. Don't wait until you retire from the Marine Corps. Don't wait until you are worthy. You have all the information. You have the wisdom to be successful at this moment. This is your entry point. That's what I would tell them. So many other things, but that's what I would begin with.
Absolutely. So what are you the proudest of that you've done in your life? Of all the things that you've accomplished and you look back and you think about all of the things, what is the one thing that really is the most special?
And I would say it's the methodology I created. I help, high caliber entrepreneurs cultivate sexy confidence. And sexy confidence is this ability to master yourself and stay calm during stressful situations and challenges. And it's been such an incredible lesson. And I still, I'm continuously refining my skills and myself to be better for others. But I would say that within itself, helping others cultivate their own sexy confidence, has been very rewarding. In the personal profession.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Oh, no, just in the personal, because I've learned to, really master myself, not be easily triggered by trivial things, and, stay calm during those stressful and challenging situations.
So, the one thing that's important in our lives are there's books and things that we get exposed to. What was the book for you growing up? It either made you love reading or inspired you to want to be more.
The book when I was a kid. There is a book, but of course I can't remember the name now. Geez. There was a book, I think it was 4th or 5th grade. And I'll be honest, I didn't really develop my love for books until later on. But I cannot remember this book. I'm sorry. It was in 4th or 5th grade. And I'm sure it'll come to me later. But I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the book.
You're fine. So, what's been one of the best client responses that you've ever gotten in your life?
The best client response, here I am thinking that, it's about the professional, goals, whether she wants to make more money or start speaking, really get that visibility and those results she wants in her business, which she was able to do. At an international level, this woman was able to speak, Egypt, Florida, just to name a few. But not giving away specifically what my client went through, but helping her deal with, alcoholism, which I didn't know I was helping her with, helping her deal with this vice that internally was holding her back, was slowly killing her. So I would say helping her self-discipline this part of her so she can overcome that and be a better servant, for others. So that was an eye-opening experience for me.
So everyone out there has a perception of you, an idea of who they think you are, your family, your friends, your clients, but ultimately you live your life. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Who do I think I am? I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior who came to serve God. And it's not through, I've learned that it's not through my masculinity or my ability to be tough and strong and overcome adversity, which thankfully I've been able to do. But my superpower lies in my femininity, my ability to have grace for myself and others, and my ability to forgive, and my ability to focus on the cure, not the disease. And that's the warrior God has always wanted me to be. And it's harnessing these superpowers that I can better help others understand what they might be going through. And I think that's me in a nutshell. I'm constantly learning and growing, but I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve God, and I consider myself His warrior.
Wonderful. Sandra, hey, thank you for opening up about your story. It's a wonderful one. And before we get out of the proverbial door here, I want everyone to be able to visit anything related to your world, hire you, anything about your world. Where can they go on the web?
Thank you. Well, I do offer, again, being this warrior, for me, it's about offering value, first and foremost. And I do offer free training. They can go to sexyconfidencetraining.com and, get this free training if they've enjoyed everything they've learned thus far. They can go there, or they can go to my website, sandragonzalez.com. And I would love to connect immediately through those platforms, or my Instagram is Coach Sandra Gonzalez. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandra. Best of luck with everything. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate the call.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, music, and more from around the globe. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube. Find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.